Hey everybody, walking in a suburb of Austin, and I was thinking a lot over the last few days about a concept of being confident in your own skin when you speak in a group setting. One of the most common mistakes that I see that leads to a culture that can become really toxic is quoting your leader or quoting another leader who has authority, power, and often respect when they're not in the room. What that then says to all of those that are in the room when you need to go in and quote them is that you, by yourself, with your opinion, the data you've used, whatever it is, don't have enough respect, authority, autonomy, power, or whatever it would be. And as such, you need to quote somebody else not present. Now, quoting that person while they're in the room to have them then share their opinion as well makes complete sense. But when you're in the room and I'm just going to speak, let's say you're a sales manager and you're going in and you're meeting with your sales team. You've recently met with the CEO. The CEO said, hey, we really need to increase the amount of self-generated pipeline, or we need to increase the way that we collaborate with the marketing team, or we need to stop selling to the opposite of our ICP because they keep not renewing. When you go into that meeting, and you're then talking with your team to go in and say, yeah, I was talking to the CEO, we got to get this done. That doesn't help you. Instead, when you go in and say something along the lines of, team, I've been thinking about it a ton. I'm watching our renewal rate. It's making it so hard to get those easy upgrades when we keep selling to the wrong buyer. And then what happens is we complain because it's really tough. We keep having to add self-generated pipeline instead of having easy layups that come from upsells from current customers. Let's stop selling to the wrong ICP. In fact, let's do a pipeline review together today. Let's go focus on who is likely to make it easy to go hit quota again next year because they're going to naturally expand. When you talk like that and you don't quote your boss who's not in the room, you're not enforcing their principles. You're teaching your team, you're inspiring your team, and you're motivating your team. The second thing that you did is now if they disagree, they're gonna go to you about it because they know that you've got an opinion worth considering. If all you do is quote somebody else not in the room, and that's your authority, that's your ability to go in and kind of get them to do something, all they're gonna do is say, okay, well, this leader's kind of useless. I'm gonna go and talk to the person who has real authority and get that done. One of the worst examples that I see of this is you'll see somebody kind of undercut other individuals in group meetings, where what they'll do is they'll go in and say, oh yeah, this person was saying that, but we're not gonna go do it. Or roll their eyes, yeah, we gotta do another thing that person X said. That's an example of not just removing your power, it's also an example of cowardice. Then your team will internalize, oh, my leader forces me to go do these things because somebody else does it, or somebody else, says it. They're a coward. They have no real authority. They're just in here kind of as a puppet. Why would I even want to work with them? Too many people don't realize what they're doing and what they're enabling in their team, either consciously or subconsciously. But what I can promise you is over time, that team will no longer want to work for you. They'll see it as another figurehead leader that's just there to manage them instead of adding unique and meaningful value. So I hope each of you, as you're thinking about going into the next meeting, whether you're the CEO, don't quote the board. If you are the VP of sales, don't quote the CEO. If you are the sales manager, don't quote the VP of sales. Unless you're saying something positive. You can go and say, hey, it's really exciting how much our board trusts us. It's really exciting how much our CEO trusts us. It's really exciting how much our VP of sales trusts us. It's really exciting, blank, 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 whatever it ends up being. So think about that as you go into your next meeting and you're going to go make a hard decision and pivot the business. I hope you choose the one of courage that will end up inspiring your team no matter how hard it is, rather than cowardice.